and your beautiful energy that you bring to us, whether you're with us live now, as we're live streaming to lots of different pages, or whether you're listening later as a podcast on angelheartlisten.com, or what's the other way, Carol Ann? Oh, just
your Facebook page.
Yeah, all our Facebook pages, yes, and a YouTube page. Anyway, thanks for being with us. It's really great whether you're with us live or later. We love knowing how Angel Heart Radio benefits you. If there's anything you'd like us to know, ask us. Carol Ann, it's such a joy for us, isn't it?
It is. Hi, everyone. It's wonderful to receive your comments and to know what it is that you're interested in and any comments you have on what we might be discussing. So, we just really welcome your participation in our show.
Absolutely. And we have got the gorgeous Gabby Forrester with us. Now, Gabby's become, for us in some ways, hasn't she? She's become like a chat room angel. It's awesome. Thanks. Welcome, Gabby. The cool thing is, now that we are multi-streaming and using a format that allows us to do so, you can comment in the comment section on the live video, and it means we get to see your comments. So as I said, if you're not on Angel Heart Radio on Facebook, scoot on over there and put your comments in there. And that's exciting for us because we love having that wonderful opportunity for that instant connection, Carol Ann, don't we?
That really instant connection. We know you're with us, and that there's things that you want to know about or to find out about, and that's what this show's all about. It's interacting with you, finding out what you want to know, and doing our best to answer it the best way we can via the angels, or the angels can via us, I should say.
That's exactly right. What it's all about. That's what we're here for. So I've just got up my Facebook page as well in case anybody's in there, and it'll be on the Angel at 777 Facebook page. I love this opportunity. And Gabby says, ha, 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 you two are my angels. We've got a good little angel team going.
Thank you, Gabby. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So today's program is, Are You a Retrospective Learner? Now, it was only the other day that I don't know whether you guys do this, but sometimes I'll do something, write something and post it, or I'll do something and later on I'll look back and go, oh, I should have waited because, maybe I can change that, and I get a bit of a guilt trip going on about it, Karen. Like I'd really give myself a hard time. Yeah. And that happened the other day. I wrote to my publisher about something, and then I had to write again. So I felt really embarrassed that I had to write twice and taking up their time. So you guys all recognise all this human stuff going on. And I'm sitting here thinking, why do I do that? And bingo, because I asked the question, the angels popped in and they said, it's because you're a retrospective learner. Mm-hmm. And until then, I'd never really heard that term before, Carol Ann.
No, it's an interesting term. And I was sort of doing a bit of thinking about that today and looking around on media. And as they said, we need to look at things in retrospect sometimes, because this way we don't repeat the errors or the mistakes that we have made in the past. It's like, if you open the oven and you put your hand on the tray to pull it out without using the mitt and you burn yourself, in future you're not going to do that because that is burned into your memory. So in retrospect, you have learned not to do that. So, and that analogy can be used for so much, but it's very, very interesting that our human side, our physical side, needs this in our life, I think, sometimes, because that way sometimes we only see a little bit of the picture in the first instance, as you, and then you had to go back and contact your publisher again for a bit of more of a view. And so, but the other interesting thing I like about this is that, yes, we have that thought, and then later on when we come back we realise that thought was so much bigger, or that incident, whatever it happened to be, was so much bigger than we thought at the time. So we're getting so much of a bigger picture of it.
Exactly. And they helped me to see that we are here learning differently.
Yeah.
And one of the really exciting shows we've got coming up for you guys, this is going to be mind-boggling, everyone. Mark your diaries. Carol Ann, I can't remember what date it is. Are you able to have a look at that? This is really one to save the date for. It's going to be so expansive. And we're going to have Janet Hickox, and we're talking about between now and 2020 and the massive change that's coming in 2027, what that means for each and every soul on the planet. But they showed me that, and one of the things Janet really opens up is about the different, because she works in human design astrology. Can't quite remember what they call them. I'm going to call them personality types, but it's not a personality type, right?
The date is Thursday, the 30th of July.
Okay, so 30th of July, Thursday at 11:30 Brisbane time, which is the day before for you guys on the USA timeline at 8:30 Central.
Yeah.
So they showed me that there are many different ways. Oh, it's Annie with us. Hello, Annette McCoy, who's just done a fabulous show on Mental Health Radio. So they showed me that there are many different ways that we learn. And what we tend to do is we tend to group them, that some are good ways to learn and some are not good ways to learn. Yes, human design, living astrology. Thank you. So it's livingastrology.com, I believe, Annie. And when we go into these judgment modes, this is actually not a mistake. This is contrast. So as we learn how it feels, you know, when you're in guilt or recrimination, it doesn't feel good at all. But then when we come to a point of understanding or acceptance or peace with it, the energy just changes. So they told me that I'm a retrospective learner, and I'm wondering how many of you are as well. So instead of looking at it and going, well, this is how we, what we did and it was a mistake and we need to go and fix it next time, for some of us, it's about, this is a mode of learning. And this method of learning is very important for us because it's part of our makeup, if you will. It's part of how we are here on the planet, learning, growing, expanding. And then we take that and we then can bring it out in our work or in our daily lives. And we begin to really understand, Carol Ann, don't we, other people who maybe are considered, you know, trigger happy or whatever. And there is that element. It's not to say there's not. But it's so much deeper than I ever realised.
Yeah. I actually think it's part of, you know, when we become the observer, we become the observer not only of ourselves, but the observer of what's happening around us. And we look at what's happening and instead of, as you say, criticising, or you didn't use that word, but I will, criticising ourselves for not getting it correct in the first place, we can look at it with an awareness and, oh, okay, so I didn't see the full picture at the first time. We don't go into judgment about it. So when we become the observer, not only of everyone else, but of ourselves, then we start to get a whole different perspective on how we can live our lives and what's happening in our lives. Because, you know, that's part of the fact we need to have both sides in this lifetime, because if we don't have the shadow, in inverted commas, side, we only have the light side, then we're not really going to learn anything in this lifetime. So we need to have those two sides to get the balance, and then also the balance between our physical and our spiritual self. So I'm learning so much more about being the observer without judgment, just coming into the awareness of it.
Exactly. And I'd like to acknowledge Renee is watching us. Welcome, Renee. And Linda is with us as well. Oh, it's wonderful to know that you're watching us live, Linda. That's really great. Please put any comments or questions you have, guys, in the comment section, and we'll be able to answer them for you. Gabby says, I've had so much of this in the past 12 months. So very many lessons to learn. Becoming the observer is a valuable tool that I've learned. It does help enormously. And this is very true because it's a sacred moment of witness, isn't it?
Yeah. It
We
is.
come into that place of, and it's a heart space. It's not even a mental place, is it? It's that heart space. Having that beautiful time. It's, for me, it's becoming more and more joyful. And as I said, when I sent that email off last week, it was like, but when I realized, and the angel said to me, hey, you're just a retrospective learner, and this is a valid tool for you. I suddenly came into my heart space, Carol Ann, and I no longer felt like, oh, you've, buggered that up.
Yeah.
It allows you to step out of ego into love. It's very true, Gabby. And this is the journey, and this is the choice that we're making all the time.
Yeah. And with our experiences, and as we have these little jolts along the way, I didn't tell the whole story there. I need to expand on that a little bit more. And as we share with one another that, we're all doing these things. This is the human body we're in, our soul's using in this lifetime. It's a human body that we experience emotions and we experience free will. So sometimes, when you're shuffling all these bits and pieces in together, we can be hard on ourselves. And I know, I haven't in the past, hopefully it's in the past, done things and I think, well, that was really stupid, Carol. You should know better than that. You know better than that. Why did you do that? Okay, I did that to reinforce, to get that retrospective learning and to reinforce that, there is another way of doing it. And this way, it's like that old saying, practice makes perfect. If we don't practice, we're not going to get perfect. So it's about living all these little aspects of our lives and learning and growing from each experiences and being gentle with ourselves, like I used to be really hard on myself. I really did. And now I've learned to be, oh, well, that's that. And most of the time I do have moments that I go, but, most of the time I'm really quite, I can sort of walk away and have a quiet moment and think about it. And okay, all's good.
Yeah. All is good. And as you're speaking, Carol Ann, they were showing me how, when we're doing something, when we're behaving in a certain way, learning a lesson, whatever you want to call it, speaking, whatever, it's almost like a snapshot's taken, and that's in the holographic field. Now, a really fantastic show that was on last week on Angel Heart Radio with Silva from Rome. It's in English, this one, and she talks about this really clearly, really concisely. It's so well worth watching. So it's on the page. Go have it, please go check that out if that feels interesting to you. So it's almost like these snapshots are taken. Well, it is. And then what happens is when we do something, we get to look back at that snapshot and say, I see that. That makes sense. I can see the difference. So we take another one. We look at them together and you go, which one do you want to, which way will I proceed? Not just possible I'm going to proceed this way, but when I don't and I proceed the other way because, oh, geez, I've been a stubborn learner so much of my life, Carol Ann.
Yes.
Yeah, however, the angels have shown me that, and as Robbie Holz just said on the show with Annette, Vibrant Living, fabulous show. As Robbie just said, that when we're here having a lot of these experiences, we are doing this on a master level. We're really learning deeply, deeply, deeply. So what would you come back and do grade 2 again when you've done grade 2? So we're moving into this field of huge learning and growth. It's beautiful.
And this is it. We're moving into this field because this is what we've chosen to come back for. This is, the fact that we're here with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, with COVID, with Ascension, with all of the trials and errors and things that are happening, we are just so blessed to be here at this time. I know we all have, including me, and I'm sure Anaya as well, we all have these moments you think, did I really agree to be here at this time?
You're right.
You know, but then we did, and how lucky are we? I just think we are just so blessed to be here at this time, because it is master learning. And this is why it's so important to recognise what it is that we are learning. And if we have that opportunity and we've done it and then we haven't done it quite correctly, we have the opportunity in retrospect to go back and change it. Yeah. So I just think that this is so awesome that we're able to do that. We're just so blessed.
So many opportunities. And I remember what the angel said to me, and they really expand on this in the angel code that'll be up later this year. But because I was so hard on myself, and I'm going to come to your comment in a tick, Gabby, and I have put up Robbie's website, everyone. Honestly, she's wonderful. So hard on myself. Later on, I realised that I was carrying this etheric whip with me. I mean, it was just whipping myself over and over again. It was so painful to live like that. And I lived like that for a long time. I mean, a lot of my choices when I was younger, oh, geez, it's taken some really heavy-duty work on my part with the angels to come to a place of peace and acceptance. But they've given me so much about that now. It's beautiful. And they just said, it's a mistake. Have another take and another take. There's no right, there's no wrong. Just keep having a take until you get to a place where it feels nourishing and wholesome to you. That began to change it for me. I suddenly realised it wasn't like, well, I'm using up all my chances and I should know better by now. It doesn't work like that at all. There are endless opportunities, as you've just said, Carol-Ann, to step into the field of grace over and over. Oh, and we've got Helen with us. Oh, this is wonderful, Helen. So beautiful to see you. We just keep going over and over and over again. And Gabby has said, so true, Carol, we hide our ugly truths about ourselves from ourselves. Learning from it is very liberating because the truth isn't ugly. That's the whole thing.
That's right.
There is no ugly. She says, I was a horrible human for a time. No, you weren't gorgeous. You were never a horrible human. And she totally owns that, but will never be again. See, this is the thing. You're such a beautiful human and such an amazingly deep and wise soul, and so ready to embrace this master level that you've come back specifically to experience it all. And then to embrace forgiveness, peace, acceptance. It's the acceptance,
It's like, you know, I was talking to our wonderful Sherry Myers yesterday, and we were talking about, you know, the past and how after I lost my daughter, I have no idea of timelines, and I was kept on this line, you know, for moving forward in one way because I had another little daughter who was only 4 at the time. But I can't put a timeline on it because I don't need to remember the finite details, because sometimes we burden ourselves with those finite details. And I believe that I know that I don't need to remember those finite details, because what happened then has brought me to where I am now. And so I can look at the fact that, wow, what an awesome lesson that period of time was for me. But I don't have to go back and live it all. You know, I can now say how blessed I am that I was the mother to my daughter for the 6 years of her life. And I don't look at it in that negative way anymore. because I realize that I'm blessed, and all of those things have made me who I am now. And that's how we learn from the past, but we do not have to relive it. We can say that was it, I accepted. It was part of my contract. I believe it was part of my contract in this lifetime. And so, it's really good that we have these opportunities now. We can observe everything and we can move forward in life. And I'm just so blessed. I wouldn't have believed I'd be sitting here now if you had asked me this 18 months ago, until this special little person next to me came and had a chat to me. And we'd been friends for a long, long time, but then our human lives had drifted us apart. And then we came back into one another's lives. And I just bless the day that we had our chat. We went out for lunch and had our beautiful chat, and here we are.
Here we are.
How amazing is that?
Yep, and we just
Yep.
took it all in. Now, we have someone else in the chat room. I'm sorry, I don't have a clue how to pronounce your name. Gabby, I think this might be a friend of yours. Namaste to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd love to know how to pronounce your name, please. Gabby, no, you're not in the wrong room. If you're watching on another page on Facebook, the Angel Heart Radio page is where you want to be. If that's our main gathering place for the shows.
Number one.
And what it means is we get to see. Sorry?
I said number one. It's number one.
Yeah. Yes. So we get to see all the comments there. I do have it open up on my phone, but I don't always get to see what's going on my phone. So, and Gabby says that's where she is. It's a beautiful thing. And it is a beautiful thing. And it's so much more than words can convey, isn't it, Carol Ann? Because we are stepping into an entirely different frequency when we're there. Yes.
And you can feel the energy within your heart. And that energy within your heart is expanding out into your aura. And it's just a beautiful place. It's calm and it's lovely and it's welcoming. Yeah. That's the word they just told me. It's welcoming. Welcoming everybody, welcoming us. And, we all have our warts and our negative parts and all of those things. But that's part of the journey, and I'm really loving the journey at the moment.
Absolutely. Same. Now, Gabby says she heard at one time that most people don't come into themselves until their 50s because they need to experience so much to be able to be compassionate for others. And it's so true. Look, I found that once I reached 40, it was kind of like a switch started to get flipped. And then in my 50s and now in my 60s, it really just gets better and better and better and better. And, there are so many things about that. Okay, so, what I consider to be beauty once. I mean, there's so many changes physically as I've gotten older, but I've learned to see more and more beauty in myself now and about myself than I ever dreamed even existed when I was, say, at my physical peak, what would be considered my most beautiful in my life, and we all have that. Learning to step out of the illusion. Perfection doesn't exist on the human plane. No. That's what the angels tell me, that it does not exist on the human plane. Yeah. And they talk about this in the angel code. Thank you, Helen. Lovely, beautiful hearts coming from Helen. Helen's joined us in Angel Heart Radio Room, I think. Fantastic. Good for you, Helen. Having this opportunity to share with you isn't actually something that Carol Ann and I take for granted. No. We're very aware that each one of you who comes into this space with us has followed their guidance, has been shown to be here. And we share from a very deep level of love and gratitude, Carol Ann, don't we?
We do. And we, the love and the gratitude that we feel towards each of you is how we're actually living this part of our lives, isn't it, really? Because to be able to share that with everyone and to know that, like, I'm a lot older than Anaya. I'm in my 70s. And so to me, to be in this place of using the internet and Zoom and social media, like, I learned to type on a metal typewriter, for goodness sake. So, to be in this place now, it's just so wonderful that we can come and share our love and our thoughts, and it's a two-way thing. It's not just us sending it out to you, because we're receiving it from you as well, and that's what then magnifies how we feel and how what we can bring and share with you each and every day, because that's what it's all about. And I can remember as a little girl, I always said to my mum, I just want to share everything I know with everyone who wants to listen. And so, that's the way we both feel about this. And just so happy and blessed to be able to do this and to know that this is going worldwide. To my way of thinking at this time, my aspects have opened up so much, the way I look at all of this. And I just think it's just so wonderful, so wonderful to be able to share at this.
We're born for this. We were all born to share our gifts and our joy and our passions in really beautiful ways, loving ways. And some people will do things like this, write books, create whatever. Other people will prepare food for their family, will be kind to a stranger, and this is the thing. There is actually no difference.
No.
There isn't a speck of difference. So if you're not doing these other types of things, you think, well, I'm only a housewife, or I'm only, because in my day, that was it. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm just a housewife.
Yeah.
I'm just a mother. And it really has been fantastic. Gabby's got a great comment I'm going to come to. It's been fantastic because it's opened up. When we say just, that's a really great pointer from the universe to really pay attention, because we're belittling what we do, or we're not really understanding the depth and breadth of what that means, and the divine harmony, frequency, vibration that's singing through all of us all the time. And honestly, whether you're, feeling connected or not is quite irrelevant. You are connected.
Yeah, definitely.
Always. We all are. And yet, our minds, our brains will constantly say, well, no, you're not. And that's the journey.
It is the journey. And when we're doing our housework, I can look at this retrospectively. I used to think, oh, gosh, got to do the washing, got to do the ironing. Why doesn't somebody come and step in and fold this for me or do whatever? But now it's just such a blessing that I can do the washing and I can do that. And I'm helping not only myself, but I'm doing it for the other members of the household. And to be able to cook and share a meal, to be able to walk down the street when you're doing your exercise and smile at someone coming the other way. All of these things that we used to take for granted when in our younger days, or I did anyway. And now there's so much more to be doing that, not just sharing the messages from the angels and to be sitting here talking to you, but it's everything in our daily life. And I think it's very important for us all to express our gratitude for what we have and what we can share. And I think that's terribly important too.
Absolutely. It really is. a major doorway, and it's like a key. You know, the angel said to me once, gratitude is the key that fits all locks and opens all doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was amazing. So Gabby says, and this is really cool, Gabby, because this brings up something that I was sharing with Carol Ann the other day. I noticed yesterday while I was waiting at the traffic lights, I was looking at a bird sitting on top of the town clock, a cloud that floated past, not the other cars on the road. I see the beautiful Gaia now. And look at that. It's so easy to limit our focus to when's the light going to change? When are these cars going to move? It gave you that opportunity, didn't it? To notice and be present to those energies.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that when I used to be stuck in traffic, I used to think, oh gosh, when is this traffic ever going to clear? Blah, 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 blah. You know, and this wasn't an accident or anything. This was just heavy traffic. Now I just sort of look around and I think, okay, I've been slowed down for a reason. I may never know what that reason is, but I've been slowed down for a reason, and I will get to where I'm going at the time I'm meant to get there. Now that is something that I look at completely different now to years ago. So, you know, that is something I've learned in retrospect. And so, you know, it's giving the whole situation a different outlook completely. And I just love that. And as you say, Gabby, you can look at Gaia, you can look at the trees beside the road, but you can also stop and think about how grateful I am that this beautiful road is here for me to travel along. And imagine the engineers that have designed and made this all happen. I'm constantly in awe when I'm looking at something that's an engineering type feat, or you see them talking about they're building a new building of some kind or other. And I think the brain that these people have to be able to see that in their mind. And I always express my gratitude for the fact that, wow, they are able to do this for each of us. And then it's bringing this whole picture of looking at life differently into perspective.
It really reminded me, and then I'll come back to the clouds. It reminded me of years ago. Oh, I had the most blessed time. Oh my goodness. I had no money. Nothing was coming in, and it was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get some money into the house? So I thought, I knew friends were having international students. So I thought, I'll get some international students. That'll be good. Nothing. No matter how many calls I made, no matter how many emails I sent, nothing. Not a single solitary response. So I sat there and I thought, what am I doing to create this? Why is no one responding? And it suddenly hit me. I was thinking about what I could get instead of what I could give. So I thought, right, I know exactly what to do. So I got every bit of money that I had, and I went and bought gorgeous linen and made curtains and did a room in preparation. Really good quality everything. And, you know, I had a student within a week.
Yeah.
Within a week. And then I had 54 students over 4 years come through my home. And one day, one of my beautiful students, and there are still students that I'm in touch with today, and you know, my children accept them as family. They accept, you know, the students accept us as family. It's been brilliant. So one of my beautiful students, Leticia, she's an engineer. And we're driving along, and they were building, I was going over toward Kedron, and they were building that big flyover toward the airport. And it's just this massive concrete structure. And I used to look at it and think, oh, God, that thing's hideous. And Leticia, we were at the lights one day, and she was looking at it so dreamily, and she said, isn't it beautiful? I suddenly realised I was not even giving the time of day to the bigger picture. Yeah. And she could see the beauty of the engineering, the beauty of the structure, whereas to me it was just this thing.
Yeah.
And she really helped me that day. She really just turned me around. And then last week, this is really cool, guys. Last week when I picked up my granddaughter from kindy, there was this one little girl there. Oh, she was such a delight. Her energy was like supercharged. I'd say she's only about 3, 4 at the most, probably 4. And she was bouncing, and I was sharing this with Carol Ann. She was, look, 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 look. And she raced off from her car, ran up to me and said, "Stop, you've got to see this." And I said, "What is it, darling?" She said, look in the sky, it's a dragon." And I looked up and there was a perfect cloud formation of a dragon. It was so beautiful. And it was so awesome because, as a lot of you know, Carol Ann and I also work with dragon energy.
Yeah.
So I said to her, "Wow, aren't you a wonderful observer? And how fantastic it is that you noticed that dragon."
Yeah.
And off we went and did our thing. And then a couple of days later, I was driving over toward Kedron again. It seems to be the spot for me, Carol Ann. Yeah, wow, Gabby said, so true. And then I was driving along and something guided me to look in the side mirror of my car, and I did. Oh, it's pretty cloud there. And somebody said, "No, look." And I looked. What did I see? I've forgotten. I've forgotten what I saw. What did I see? Oh, a whale.
A whale, that's right, yeah. A whale.
Honestly, sometimes I just crack myself up so much. Life is so wonderful. There are so many moments to relish. The simple things like telling a story you're so passionate about and completely forgetting the point. So it was a whale. And it was so clear. Wow. And then
what I love about the whales is that it always brings me back to the place that says that the whales and the dolphins sing the melody and the energy of Mother Gaia. And that brings the harmony in around Earth. So, you know, I love the water. I absolutely love the water and the whales and the dolphins. And so, you know, that at the time you told me that story, that was what I immediately thought of was, you know, the whales were singing the harmony of the planet.
Yeah.
Because I think that the planet is going through miraculous changes.
Robbie Holz had something amazing to say about that.
I'll listen to it later.
Amazing, guys. You might be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, on the way home, I needed to stop in a car park for something or other. I was doing something, and so I thought I'll pull over in this car park because then that's really, I'm off the road. I can focus on what I'm doing. And then I looked up out of the windscreen. Never seen anything like it. There was this amazing cloud of a pig, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was amazing was, you know, if you imagine a pig it was flying, there was a perfect wing. So it was a side view of the pig with the legs tucked up, the perfect, beautiful face. And remember that old saying, you know, when pigs might fly? And I suddenly realized that there was a major blessing that I needed to be aware of. When something looks impossible, to remember that flying pig, the whale, the dragon.
Yeah.
And I often notice cloud formations. I don't always see such clear things. I mean, I've seen perfect angel wings, which many people have. These 3 different things. And then I realized, just look at how the spirit world's working for me as well. These beautiful spirit guides are here making sure I get these powerful messages. And that was just a terrifically deep moment of real angelic grace for me, real depth of the invitation to simply go deeper.
And this is it, as we become more and more aware of the signs that are around us, and they can be as visible as the clouds, or it can be just we're out in the garden and just a beautiful flower or a reflection, especially after it's rained and you can see the rainbow reflection in the drop of water on the leaf or something like that. when we're aware and we're in tune, we see so many of these things, and they have such special meanings. And you know, I think we're seeing a lot of animals at the moment because it's a part of the awakening and the ascension that's happening to everyone and everything, and Mother Earth, everything. So everything
there
is,
is no separation except in the way that we view
right.
things.
Yeah, no separation at all. So as we're ascending, Mother Earth's ascending, and I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, again, have a listen to Robbie's show this morning with Annette. So this morning the dogs were barking, and we don't just sit back and let the dogs bark. We always go out and see what's going on and address any issues that might be there, and then bring the dogs in, right? This morning I noticed a particular bark, and I thought, hang on, something's going on here. And I walked outside, and my daughter Lana was there, and she said, oh, it's a dead possum in the pool area. And I said, are you sure it's dead? She said, well, it looks dead. So I went into the pool area, and here was this baby possum, this dear, sweet little possum. And so I always check. And I reached down and I touched this possum, and I noticed one of its little paws just moved slightly. So I touched it again, moved again. I picked it up and held it to me, and I brought it inside, and it was so cold. And the possums usually go home about 4:30. This was about 8 o'clock this morning, 7:30 this morning. This baby's been out there in the freezing cold 3 hours. So I brought it in, and Lana and I, between us, got as much warmth as we could because it was freezing. And Lana got a hot water bottle, with some, not hot, but, warm water in it. We got some towels. I put towels over the heater and wrapped it. We put it against our skin, and I held this baby, and so did Lana. And you could see that instead of just being, like looking like a dead possum, slowly could see this little one starting to respond. And, God, it was so magnificent to be a part of that. And so we rang a fabulous vet close by and alerted them that we were bringing this baby in. And, we got ourselves in the car, and I held little baby all the way in. And it was so amazing giving him Reiki and calling an Archangel Ariel and, all the love for this little being. And bit by bit, it started to respond a little bit more, even though it was still very cold to touch. So it's in at the vet now. I don't know what's happened to him, and I'm kind of really scared to find out, but we will find out. Because if this little one does survive, possums are territorial, so we'll need to see about ways that it can be hopefully reunited with its mum. But I dare say it'll have to go to a carer because it's so little. But the thing was, Carol Ann, I realised, and you had a really beautiful message about that this morning, I realised the joy of being a part of something so much bigger than myself again.
Yeah. I'll have to ask him to give me the message again because I can't remember what it was. Because that was coming from the angels. It wasn't coming from...
That's right. When you channel, it's like, go on. What it was basically was you said it was a message for me. What you got was our prayers for the little soul. Thank you so much, Gabby. That's beautiful. You said that the angels immediately put a message into your mind, that it was a very strong message to me about the love that I'm birthing in the world.
That's right, yeah.
The new beginnings, and the angel code has been and continues to be
beautiful. I'm loving it. It's flowing. It's gorgeous.
It's so much bigger than anything I could have conceived of when it first started coming in nearly 20 years ago. It's just opened me, and so I realised that it's about accepting the power.
And also the other thing that they just said to me was like this little baby possum, and you held it to your heart and warmed it, and you nurtured it, and you took it to the vet. And this is about what you're doing with the book. You're nurturing the book, and we're bringing the book to life, bringing it back into the world, and it's going to then be shared with the world. And it's all about this new life that you're bringing to the world, a new point of view, new words, and beautifully written from the angels through you that we can all understand and love. And I'm absolutely lucky because I get to read it first.
Because it is so unlike anything I've ever seen before, ever. And again, like that incredible experience of the gratitude, and I'm actually could burst into tears. It's so deep. Of, along with my daughter, having that opportunity. Because I mean, even if this little possum didn't make it, it's just the care, isn't it? It's the care. It's the love and the tenderness.
And this is what we have to think about too, especially at this time for the human population, that if somebody is making their transition, they're being given love and caring and all of those beautiful energies to help them if the possum makes its transition, to help it make its transition. And I think that this is one of the things that we have to take into consideration at the moment with what's happening in the world today. So it's about love and all of those things as people make their transitions.
Yeah. And it was amazing because one of the things I was able to do was, send a message to Carol Ann straight away for Reiki. And it's building these networks that we've got. Now we've got, is it Prachita? Name as it sounds. She's an Angelic River family member. They're so lovely to be with us. That's perfect. Thank you. And Gabby was saying that she's been seeing lots of rainbows actually, and she saw one about a month ago as a clarification of a message, and now she sees one or two a week. Wow.
Wonderful.
And Gabby also says you are both so beautiful, so blessed to have connected with you. Well, we're magnetic. We're all of us here together, as we said earlier. We've all got this amazing. We've come together. We've because we see separation, even though none really exists. It's when we get into these moments like this, and Gabby feels, yes, I will. Gabby said, if you find out about the possum, would you please let me know? I will, darling. And I'll send you a photo of the little baby as well.
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful photo. It's really good.
These moments of experiencing our interconnectedness.
Because there's no coincidences. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt there. There's no coincidences that we're all in one another's lives. There's no coincidences about anything that happens. And so, that's no coincidence. We're all here together and sharing this time, these experiences, this love and these awareness and everything. It's all planned. No coincidences. Nothing is a coincidence.
No. And as we're becoming more aware of it, I mean, everything about our experience here is beginning to change in so many ways. And as Caroline so rightly pointed out before, there are times where, if things can feel so challenging, like it might just be being stuck in traffic, for example. Yet when we are willing to delve into the greater mystery, the greater awareness, because awareness of this magnitude is a mystery to a human mind, because we want things to be a certain way. And as we allow ourselves that breadth, it's the depth, it's that field, it's the field of magnificence. As we allow ourselves to experience that, even for a brief moment, it changes something in us. It helps us awaken to the knowledge, the wisdom, the spiritual truth that we are, that we actually already are.
Yeah. And you know, these moments that we have that aren't quite that beautiful and, you know, are like little bumps along the highway, because let's be honest, none of us live an absolutely perfect life that we're just gliding along the magic carpet or through life. It's like a roller coaster a lot of the time. It's the ups and the downs and the roundabouts and the spins and all of those things. But, you know, those things all make us who we are. And it's how we look at them from a different perspective and change our way of looking at so many things. But we're still going to have these bumpy hiccups along the way. Life is not a bed of roses, as much as we'd like to think that, because sometimes you're going to get a thorn stuck in you, really. So, you know, like we don't live perfect lives because we'd never learn anything. We would never grow. We would never experience if we lived a perfect life. And I, for one, really don't want to come back and live this part of my life again. This part of my life is beautiful. But, you know, it's what's got me to this part of my life. I don't want to have to live through that again in another lifetime. So I'm willing to take the steps I need to in this lifetime to come through it and you know, maybe experience something different next time. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. Gabby says not hiccups, lessons. And she's got the smiling, the laughing icon there. It really is. We are all far greater, all of us, than we have any concept of. And I just want to really encourage all of you to become willing to see that about yourself, because it's very easy to say, oh, such and such has got it all together. I mean, some days if you could see me and, you know, like Carolyn can attest to what I'd say.
And we're both the same.
Spitting the dummy about something, or just can't get what's going on, or putting myself in a position where I take something very personally, and it can take me a bit of time. It took me a couple of days this week, didn't it? But I finally realised that how I was viewing a situation was so far from the situation itself. And instead of being, which I would have once taken that as a great reason to really beat myself up about it, I realised I was learning the retrospective learning. And Gabby says, if you have it all together, what else is there to do?
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. No. You just said the show. Exactly. So it's so good, because I mean, I remember my friend Chevelle, he is a magnificent energy. And I remember one day saying to him when he was still here on the planet, Chevelle, why? You know, I was talking about my mother. Why is she doing this over and over again? Why am I so upset with it? Why can't I let it go? Why can't I blah, blah, blah? And he said to me, darling, it's quite simple, really. It's because she's not finished learning the lesson, and nor are you. When you're finished, and you'll know when that is, and it'll be in just the right time for you, then it will change. And it was so simple, and I suddenly thought to myself, bloody hell, I just swore on air. Sorry, everyone. I thought, that makes so much sense. And it was suddenly easy and rhythmical and gentle and done.
We're so hard on ourselves. We really are. You know, it's not that we expect perfection from ourselves, but it's just that some days things don't go quite, you know, the way you want them to. And then instead of being the observer and looking at the situation, we instantly jump into this self-criticism place. And so that's then part of being, okay, what's happening here? Time to change your thought about that. Become aware of why that's happening, just like with your mother and you, and then we can move ahead from there.
Gabby says it is part of the Australian language. It's not swear words. Ah. Oh,
not everybody is watching is in Australia. I mean, aren't we blessed, Gabby, that we are?
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
so.
We're also just so incredibly blessed. And wow, you know, it's really interesting. And listening to Robbie on her show with Annette this morning, she was talking about kind of everything we're talking about in a different way, but with a very different. Yeah, I won't say it was just so thought-provoking, and so I just kept having all these aha moments. You know, through the show. And Robbie's such an incredible teacher anyway, and she's got a new book out called Vibrant Living, which I'm so looking forward to getting. And it encapsulating how incredibly in tune we all are, no matter how it looks on the outside.
Yes. And the exciting thing about that is that you know, you're saying she's talking about things similar to what we are. But this is it. We might say make a particular statement, and that doesn't resonate with a person. But Robbie can say something very similar, and it will then resonate. So we each have different ways of learning. We have different ways of listening. We have different ways of observing. And so what wonderful opportunities we have to hear from such an array of beautiful guests on Angel Heart Radio.
Yeah. And Robbie is such a wise teacher. And Rosemarie Butterworth, who's from Australia, Rosemary's from the US. Rosemary was in the chat room. She's another incredibly wise teacher. And her work with Archangel Michael is very beautiful. And Robbie's work with the angels is amazing. So if you haven't heard of Rosemarie Butterworth or Robbie Holz, Holz, I recommend you check both of those women out. And we're very blessed to have this association with them. And both of these amazing beings have come to me at Angel Heart Radio through Annette McCoy.
The wonderful Annette.
Wonderful Annette. Now, you'll love it, Gabby. Gabby's going to watch Robbie after the show, because it was the show before this one. So the video's the one before this one. Having this time with you guys, Robbie, ROBBIE. Thank you for asking. HOLZ. I want to write that in. Apparently, I can't do two things at the same time. Oh, I really can't.
You know what you like with typing.
You
know what you like with typing. You just want.
That's another thing. So it's acceptance. Having this time with you guys is really powerful for us. Yeah, and as individuals, as like us on our personal journeys as well, you know, we're learning from you all the time as well. And the fact that we've got this opportunity to share what matters to us with you and what matters to you really opens up something for us, Carol Ann, doesn't it?
It does, because, you know, all of the parts make up the whole. I like to think of us all as threads on the tapestry of life. And so each of our threads are all interwoven and they all make up the whole. And they are all right on their own, but when they're all joined together, it's just a magical carpet. And just sort of shows all our points and how we can work together to make something beautiful.
Yes. So Holz, HOLZ, wellness.com. I have loved this time with you guys. What about you, Carol Ann? I bet you're going to say, oh no, it's just been a snooze.
It's been absolutely awesome. Love you, and I love all of you girls and boys out there, and want to hear more and more from you all the time. And just to remind you, our show on the 30th of July, we have the wonderful Jeanette with us. So we want you to tune in every week, but make sure you especially tune into that one. We have got some awesome guests coming up in the next few weeks.
Haven't we ever? I mean, you guys already know Janet Hickox because she's on Angel Heart Radio once a month on the 4th Wednesday in the USA, which is the 4th Thursday in Australia. No, wrong way. Yeah, sorry, that's right. And we were recently contacted by a woman who's written a book about her experiences with her contact with her mum after she passed. She's coming on. We've also got, I'm just trying to remember what's Diana's book called? Do you remember? You have a look. We've got, thank you, Don, because you're much better than I am. You can do 2 things at the one time. So when Shannon and Diana...
I'll just say what we're doing the next few weeks. So next week, we're doing part 2 of our Archangel Michael and Archangel Nathaniel show. The following week, we're talking to Rosie. So I'll let you talk about Rosie if you like.
Yes. Now, Rosie and her co-host, now, I'm sure his name is Messenger Salar. Now, they're on Caribbean Radio, and they invited me to be a part of a project, which was an absolute joy. The idea with their project is they're wanting to make sure that the wisdom we're carrying, we pass on to the next 7 generations. So the invitation was that I share a topic, the topic I'd like to talk about, and that was then presented to their team of youth, young people, without any identifiers, no photos, no websites, nothing, right? And they select who they are drawn to interview as a person, a young person wanting to learn from an elder. How amazing is that? I'm still gobsmacked. I love it so much. So we're going, when are Rosie and Messenger Solara?
Okay, so I've just gone past that one. They're on the 23rd, I think it is.
23rd our time, 22nd USA time. So that will be a really fantastic.
Okay, no, it's not the 23rd. It's the 16th our time. So it'll be the 15th USA time.
Thank you. So they're just some of the shows we've got coming up. Diana is bringing forward her book. I'm sorry, Diana, I just can't place my thinking feelers on what your book is. But she's a woman who, when she contacted us, Carol Ann and I both got such a great experience with her, and even so much so that I'm mentioning both these women because before we've even had our meetings.
Yes, we've never met them. We've only been in contact through the internet, through Facebook. And so we know nothing about them, but their energy attracted both of us.
Yep.
And so we're having a discussion with them, and then we'll book them into the show.
Yeah.
So
and the way
go on.
And the way we normally do it is we talk to someone first before we mention them, and then discuss, work, see how we feel. Is this a person that we really feel connected to sharing with you? And so we haven't even done that process yet. That's how much we felt connected to them. So we've got some really fantastic shows coming up, and it was only just not long ago that we got the message from the angels. We're going to send you some guests, and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It all turned up like fabulously.
We're just so happy that we've gone back having a regular show, because we both needed to have a little bit of time off a while ago, and now we're back and we're moving along.
We're back and we're buzzing. That's how it feels. So
yep, no, that's it. Just okay.
Okay, thank you. So do let us know if there are any topics, anything you need from us.
Yes.
Is there something you want us to talk about? It doesn't have to be a topic. Let us know, because part of our passion is it's not just about what we feel is a great show, and we always consult with the angels and the dragons too. We always consult. It's not just, what do we do this week? And as Carol Ann said, next week it'll be part 2 of Archangels Michael and Nathaniel. Now, originally that was going to be after the first week, the first part, but we weren't quite in the right space. I had a bit of a cold and the brain fog. So it flows.
And we know that when it happens, it's in perfect timing.
Perfect
it's when
timing.
it's meant to be.
We don't have to be in control of that. We'll
No,
flow
we
with
don't.
it. It'll
We
come
can't
through.
control that.
So thank you all. Thank you. It's been wonderful having you with us in the chat room, which is the comment section on the video on the Angel Heart Radio page is the best one on Facebook for you to be. That's where we'll be able to reply to you so much more easily and incorporate you into the show. So this is exciting for us. It's opening so many doors.
It's great. We really love it. So make sure you leave your comments and anything you'd like us to talk about or discuss, and feedback. We love feedback. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, look forward to that very, very much. And in the meantime, is there anything you want to say in closing, Carol Ann?
Just be kind to yourself.
Stop it. I was about to say that.
I beat you. See
what I've got to put up with, everyone? Oh, you've got no one. You don't know the half of it. Okay, so have a wonderful day, you too, Gabby. Thank you, darling. So remember to be, I'm going to say it anyway, remember to be kind to you. Really, really kind to you, because you matter. You're important. And the energy of kindness given to ourselves first, as we know, Carol Ann, expands in a massive way. And invites much more kindness into our own world as well.
Certainly
so thank you. We love you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, you can visit Carol Ann. Girls love you all. Stop it. It's fun. Enjoy little things, you know.
Yes.
So you can visit Carol Ann on carolsangelwings.com. You can visit me on angellight777.com, and there you will find, if you would like to be kept in the loop about what's happening, just with occasional updates. So you won't be receiving something every week by any stretch of the imagination. But if you'd like to be kept in the Angel Code loop, you can fill in a form there and let me know, and I'll be happy to let you know what's going on. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Now and press finish. Here I am. Thank you, darlings. It's been wonderful. We love you. Take good care, and we shall catch up with you again soon. Bye.